DuPont innovation lowers LCOE by increasing cell efficiencies and system lifetime while reducing total system cost. Materials matter.
That is, for me, the show of industry.
Hello and welcome to the PV Tech Newscast. The headlines this week. The US technology roadmap for SIG's thin film is launched at this year's Intersolar North America. 3 companies enter insolvency this week, and 500,000 households in Peru are to be solar powered. The good news this week relates to the installed PV capacity in the US, which has surpassed 10 gigawatts, a new and significant milestone for the country, according to NPD SolarBuzz, which released the data on the eve of Intersolar North America, which has been taking place this week. But the best news is that rather than reaching a peak, US installations are forecast to increase by an additional 80% over the next 18 months, surpassing 17 gigawatts by the end of 2014. Despite the market opportunities in regions such as the US, the Intersolar North America event has been overshadowed by a series of solar companies filing for insolvency. German manufacturer and PV project developer Conergy entered insolvency proceedings after plans to include a new strategic investor in the company were thwarted by one of 10 existing creditors. The company said that unexpected payment delays on one of its large-scale PV projects had resulted in liquidity issues for its module and mounting systems manufacturing operations in Germany, forcing the company to seek creditor protection. Its international subsidiaries were not affected by the insolvency proceedings. The company expects its manufacturing in Germany to resume operations shortly so that it can continue to meet its order obligations while it deals with the court actions. The same thing has happened to Gehrlicher Solar, one of Germany's longest operating PV companies, which also filed for insolvency this week. The company has blamed its application for insolvency on the EU's anti-dumping measures. The project developer said an €85 million loan agreed with a consortium of banks in May this year was said to have been cancelled with the company as it was no longer able to follow the business plan on which the 2-year loan extension was based. Gehrlicher Solar's American operations were said to operate independently and would not be affected by the changes at the parent company. Gehrlicher currently employs around 250 people and recorded a turnover in 2011 of $415 million. The third bankruptcy this week relates to Honolulu-based Hoku, which was building a polysilicon plant in the US. The company filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy with debts of approximately $1 billion. The company fell foul of the drastic fall in polysilicon prices over the last 3 years due to global overcapacity. Hoku, whose partners include Jinko Solar and Suntech, ceased construction of its polysilicon plant in Idaho and laid off 100 employees in May this year. Struggling Solarworld has confirmed it will lay off 100 people from its plant in Hillsboro, Oregon. The changes follow a major restructuring of its parent company in Germany and the continued dumping of cheap Chinese products in the US, despite levies introduced last year by the US government to block them. It's widely reported that the company will now refocus the installation on cell production and module assembly only. Ingot and wafer manufacturing will cease at the site. News also surfaced that Japanese PV manufacturer Panasonic is to close its module factory in Hungary at the expense of 550 jobs. The company is widely reported to be planning to shut the Dorog facility in September in order to consolidate its manufacturing operation in Japan and Malaysia. The plant is the company's only European solar module manufacturing facility. Talks between the European Commission and Chinese authorities in Beijing ended their second week with rumoured reports of China offering a bottom cost per watt and a cap on total shipments to avoid duties being applied on Chinese PV products on August the 6th. China's Chamber of Commerce for Import and Export of Machinery and Electronic Products, which is responsible for negotiating a deal with the EC, was reported to have said the talks were going well and that a settlement was still expected. The rumoured offer from the Chinese centred on a cost per watt floor of 50 euro cents and an annual cap on shipments into the EU of 10 gigawatts. Chinese module producers not complying would be fined. And finally, some good news, as 500,000 Peruvian households are to be provided with solar panels via Peru's National Photovoltaic Household Electrification Program, which aims to provide 95% of Peru with energy by 2016. The initial phase of the 5-year project will be started with 1,600 solar panels, which will power 126 impoverished communities. Nearly half of Peru's population are believed to live in poverty, with 19% under the extreme poverty level. Only 66% of the population have access to electricity, leaving 1.6 million households with no electricity access. A public competition to select a bidder for the installation of solar panels across Peru will start this week. The overall cost of the project is said to be in the region of $200 million, with a goal of installing 12,500 PV systems over 5 years. And that's all for this newscast. Make sure you join us next Friday, and in the meantime you can keep up to date with all the very latest PV news via our website and our Twitter feed. Thanks for watching.